First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that listened to our morning show. I really appreciate it. What up, Cleveland? What up to all of y'all this morning? Let me, say something. And I was inspired to do this video according to my last 4 posts last night on Instagram, because some people that work on their jobs, even you, and I felt that way before. I've definitely felt that way. Felt like I wasn't appreciated, and that's a legitimate feeling. If you work on a job and you feel like you're not appreciated, that's fucking legit, right? And some people feel that way. I have felt that way, or whatever. However, the question becomes, what have you sacrificed to your situation? On the jobs or in the house, when you don't feel appreciated. The question becomes, what have you sacrificed for your opportunity, or whatever, and what have you gave? What ideas have you brought to the table? What have you showed up to, right? To enhance the opportunity that you have, because your job is an opportunity. And you have an opportunity every single day to be better, right? Because I'm just Rickey. What I'm saying? Rickey Smiley Morning Show is a brand. And the only thing I'm trying to do now is continue to build a brand, because people like Tom Joyner left us a wonderful opportunity, and the people before him, and then the people before him. People have made sacrifices for us all to have this opportunity, and we have to make good on the opportunity that other people have made sacrifices for. And that comes not getting too comfortable and not getting too complacent, and the effects of COVID, because COVID has made people lazy and mess people up mentally and emotionally. I get that part, and I definitely understand that part. Our morning show is here to stay. It ain't going nowhere. But let me just tell you, people think that the morning show, that shows like a morning show or a TV show where people just sit up and laugh and joke all the time. It's not like that. Chicago Bulls won six titles, right? Tom Brady won 6 or 7 Super Bowls, right? Serena Williams won. Alabama always win every other year the national championship in Georgia. But for Georgia to win the national championship, guess what they had? They had a coach, right? If you don't have a mentor or a coach or somebody in your ear trying to help you get better at what you do for your situation to be better, and in order to have a coach, you have to be coachable. See, this is why athletics is so good for boys and girls, because if you're not coachable, you're not employable, right? Coaching is on a team. You're on a team, and you're being yelled at and screamed at on how to do something. And what coaching did for me, it made me not sensitive. Somebody yelling at me and screaming at me and shit, it didn't bother me. It didn't faze me. And I said, okay, All right, okay, if you say do it this way, let me motherfucking do it this way. If you say don't do that or do this or run this way, or you ran the dig route wrong, or you ran a down and out, or you did the curl pattern, when you do a curl pattern, you need to come back to the ball. And all of this stuff. That's what coaching is. And if you're not being coached, no matter what you do, whether it's radio, whether it's rapping, or whether it's comedy or whatever, I have a coach in comedy. I got somebody in my ear say, hey man, you need to do this story like this because you messed up on your setup when you did this right here. You need to, I'm on a show was funny as hell this morning, and I was on the phone with 3 people getting critiques of what I could have did better in a moment that y'all thought was funny as hell. Y'all probably was laughing, had to pull your car over. But I was getting a critique as to how that would have been better for radio, as funny as it was. As funny as it was, I was still getting a critique. How could I have done that better? As opposed of spiking the ball and say, yeah, touchdown. Okay, yeah, you threw a touchdown, but had you done it this way, you would have cut off the risk of throwing an interception. Yeah, you got a touchdown, but it was almost an interception. And here's how to do that better. Instead of looking at the points on the board, but you almost threw an interception. You almost fucked it up. Right? Are you teachable? Are you coachable? What sacrifice are you making for the situation that you have to make it better? Right? I'm going on a Tom Joyner cruise. Why? Because they motherfucking said you're going on a Tom Joyner cruise. Am I getting paid for it? Nope. What do you want me to do on the Tom Joyner cruise? We want you to perform. Yes, sir. We want you to shake the listener's hands. Yes, sir. We want you to do a karaoke night. Yes, sir. We want you to do a cooking segment with the chefs. Yes, sir. You damn right. I'm doing all of it. Any fucking thing they ask me to do. And these good ass people, as nice as they've been to me for 15 years, you ain't got to tell me twice. Whatever you say do, I'm doing it. Let me get some little stuff in order, and I am prepared to come and do what you want me to do just because you say do it. How about that? My pastor, Kevin Bryant, always talk about what it's like to be in a serve. I am there to serve. I am coming to serve. I am coming to shake people's hands, thank the people for taking a minute. Because when Tom Joyner retired, they didn't have to fuck with us. They could have went somewhere else and listened to this or just not listen to the radio at all. But the fact, even if they don't listen to the morning show, I'm going to be on that cruise to shake everybody's hand and encourage them to listen to the show. Right? I don't think I'm some big star that's not, like, I got work to do. We got work to do. I got to do what they asked me to do, just for the simple fact that they provided an opportunity of a lifetime. So why am I fighting them on anything? Now, if I do all of this stuff or whatever, and cause they show me that they appreciate me because they see the sacrifices that I make. And it came to the radio station, me, Rock T, and Haircrack. We doing the morning show, and in the next room, our kids sleeping on the floor and on the couch, on blankets and stuff, because we couldn't find no babysitter. We got to get up and get kids ready at 3:30 in the morning and drive to work with our kids in the next room sleep. I've been on the phone all morning. Hey, how did this sound? Let's do this. I done went in my garage, pulling out prank phone call CDs to edit the CDs, to edit the prank phone calls, to make them funnier, to make sure that we got the good gospel music during the praise break, to make sure that doom, boom, 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 everything is done right, correctly, getting coached. Got 3 morning show people that used to do morning show boot camps, critiquing me in my ear. Hey, you need to do this better. Hey, why don't you do this, that? Boom, I'm putting all that shit together. I ain't never got comfortable with what I'm doing and what I'm having. I always wanted to be better. Even my stand-up comedy, I always wanted to be better. That's a good point. Faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. Let me say this, and I heard this, and I heard this in my space. I'm going to say this to all the employers out there. If your attitude is, I'm just going to do my job and go home. If that's what your attitude is, you don't need to be here. You don't need to be on your job. If your attitude is, I'm just going to do what I'm supposed to do and I'm just going to go home. If that's what your attitude is, you don't need to be there. Because it ain't just when you clock out. You driving home like, well, damn. What can I do? Oh, shit, that was a good idea. Rick, boy, I got this idea right here. We can do this on stage together. You can come up on stage and we can do this like getting with the comedian. That's why I don't like people backstage doing a comedy show. Because the comedian's trying to vibe. We trying to vibe together. What are we going to do in the next 30 minutes before this show starts to make this show great? What do we need to do to make this show great? Anybody that come in and undermine the process, you can't undermine Nick Saban's process. Nick Saban winning for a reason. Nick Saban been Kirby Smart, all the good coaches is winning for a reason. You can't nobody come in and undermine Nick Saban's process because he's winning. He's doing everything he needs to do to win. He has a process. We're going to do this way. We're going to practice at 4 o'clock. We're going to do this way. We're going to do this. That's why they win. Discipline, structure, right? And I'm going to say this, and I want everybody to write this down. I want everybody, I understand, he said, depends on my job. He said, fuck that job. I get you, dog. Let me say this right here. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is only the extra. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is only the extra. I'm just going to do my job and go home. I'm just going to do what I got to do and get on out here. That ain't the people you want working for you. You want people to make sacrifices because when I win, you win. When Steve Harvey was winning in the 90s, I was winning. I used to open up to Steve. Hey, wherever you need me to be, I'm driving to Augusta, Georgia. I don't discuss nobody here. Rick, here go $200. Rick, we can't pay you tonight or whatever. Hey, I did my job. You asked me to come, I came. Rick, we don't have no money to pay you to do radio. Okay, I'll be there. You need to be there at 4 o'clock because the morning show start at 5. So I need to leave Birmingham at 3. 60 miles, my nigga. 60 miles. The sacrifice. I get emotional about that because I know I put in some fucking work. 60 miles. Still to this day. Spend a night at the radio station some nights. Just so I can be there and be prepared. All I got to do is, if I wake up at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting my ass on up and I'm finna go to the radio station. And I got an office and I'm gonna spend the night upstairs, jump on that elevator. After I wash my face and brush my teeth, and I'm gonna go downstairs and I'm sitting in there ready to work, ready to go. That attitude. Your attitude determines your altitude. There's 3 things I taught today that I want you to know. Your attitude. Because even if your boss don't appreciate you and your job don't appreciate you, God sit high and look low. He know why you do what you do. He know why you woke up this morning. He know what your motive is. Yeah, you can fool everybody else. You might even be able to fool me or whatever. But you can't fool God. He know why you do what you do. He know if you're getting over. And you wonder why doors of opportunity don't open for you because some of y'all motive is not intact. Some of your motive is not intact. But boy, when your motive is intact and you wake up with a good heart, a sound mind to do the right thing, to be the best you can be. Everybody that work out at football practice, Smitty catch 100 balls after football practice and won the Heisman Trophy. And they said he was too skinny to go to the NFL. Now he up here clowning at the Eagles. But after practice, when practice was over, he stayed at practice and caught 100 balls. So whenever somebody threw in the ball in the game, he rarely dropped a pass. That's the extra. Why did he win the Heisman Trophy? Because he's extraordinary. Why should they choose you and not them? Are you there? What time do you get to work? Are you prepared? Do you like the job? Do you want to see your team win? Are you serious about work? Or are you just going to work and go home and mind your business? Why? Think about this. Damn, Rickey Smiley, how did you become such a great comedian? I ain't no funnier than nobody else. I'm okay. I'm really a fan of comedians. I got some homeboys that's funnier than me, but check this. I drove 12 hours to Richmond, Virginia, 12 hours in a fucking Cutlass. I got paid $250 just for the opportunity to get on stage because I wanted it. I was hungry. I wanted it. I went to California. I drove to Atlanta to jump on an airplane to fly into New Jersey, the airport in New Jersey on Continental Airlines just to make it to Showtime, the Apollo, only to get booed. And had no money for a hotel. I slept at my cousin's apartment in the hallway on the floor just for the opportunity. So God looking at me like, bro, you really out here making sacrifices. You really out here, listen. Man, I walked up there with the funeral director. She came and got me out of my seat. She said, we finna close your granddaddy casket. I said, yes, ma'am, Miss Rachel Arrington Funeral Home. She looked at me and she said, you ready? I said, yes, ma'am. I walked up to that casket. Choir up there singing. I think they were singing Total Praise. Emotions. My grandfather raised me. My grandfather was there for me. That was the only dad I had. My dad died when I was 6. And I'm looking at my grandfather lay in this casket, right? And I'm gonna make a point. She got everything together for me to close. My brother, Jason Lockhart, I'll never forget it. He came and stood over my right shoulder. And he had his hand on my shoulder. He lived across the street from my granddad. So I told him to come on. I said, you come on up here because if you felt compelled to come up here to support me, he's your granddad, just like he's my granddad, right? We stood there. We closed that casket. We put that flower on. And I just stood there for a moment. I could hear the choir singing Total Praise. I'm filled with emotion, right? I want to cry. I want to break down, but I was at peace with my grandfather's death. I had him for 92 years. What more can you ask God for to be 50 years old with still got a grandfather, right? Went to the cemetery because I was driving the Cadillac, my granddaddy's Cadillac. And I'm going to get to the point. I couldn't get the car I couldn't get the emergency brake back up. So everybody left the cemetery. So nobody at the cemetery but me and that casket was sitting right there. It got so crazy. It was dark. It was cloudy. I had to get my phone and go on YouTube to see how to release the emergency brake because I'm in a 96 sedan DeVille. I drove my granddaddy Cadillac to his funeral. By the time I was able to release the brakes on the car, the workers had came and was lowering my granddad casket in the ground and nobody was there but me. So I'm doing all that and I'm looking out the window to the side and they lowering the casket in the ground. I couldn't do shit but start laughing. I said, man, this got to be a joke. I just kind of laughed and I was like, wow. Like, really? Left the cemetery, stopped by the repast. Stopped by the place where we had the repast. Hugged everybody. Grabbed a piece of chicken. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I got to go. I got to go. Right? Because the Martin Lawrence tour had a show in Jackson, Mississippi that night. And it's a 3.5 hour drive. That show started at 7 o'clock. It's almost 3 o'clock. I got to go. I jumped my ass on the highway, got in my car, and drove all the way to Jackson, Mississippi with the thought in my head, I'm closing the lid of my grandfather's casket, which would be, and I'm surprised that I'm sitting here talking about it without crying because it really fucked me up, right? But my point is, I'm talking about making personal sacrifices. Close the lid of my granddad's casket. I had to suck that shit up and take that shit like a man. I laid in the back seat of a car. Roosevelt, my boy from elementary school, drove me to Jackson. And I'm having these flashes of my granddad's funeral in my head, the songs that were sung, everything, and even flashing all the way back to my dad's funeral. It was at the same church. Because what made me sad at my dad's funeral, the way my grandparents was crying like they was, and I was more emotional about that than my granddad's funeral itself. I got to Jackson, Mississippi and went backstage, and I got a show to do. What would my granddaddy want me to do? This shit is not about me. Because somebody in Jackson, Mississippi, granddaddy died also. Somebody in Jackson, Mississippi, grandmother died also. Somebody in Jackson, Mississippi, mama died. Their son died. Their daughter died. They got cancer and died. I walked on stage. I saw people I'm looking in their face. I see people withering away. So I had to make a sacrifice, put my feelings aside and what I was going through to do a show to make sure that, because seeing Rickey, Smiley, D. Ray Davis, Martin Lawrence, Adele Givens, Bruce, whoever was on that show was going to be the last thing some of those people was going to be able to do. And I had to suck that shit up. I said, okay, fuck that. I can cry on the way home, but I'm finna get these jokes in, and gave one of the best performances. And the people in the audience was clapping for me because they saw the funeral on live. TV One had it on their live. And it was on my Facebook page live. Everybody saw that whole funeral service. And just was just kind of taken back like, damn, you on stage? Yes. Because that's extraordinary. Because ordinarily, people take a day off when somebody dies. I can't take no day off. Martin Lawrence and them coming in the dressing room, stick their head in the door. Martin don't just be walking up in the dressing room. Martin goes straight to his dressing room and goes straight to the stage. Him and his brothers, everybody concerned. Rick, you straight? We glad to see you. You okay? I'm good, man. Thank you for the opportunity, man. I love you. All right, man, here go a card. Sorry for your loss, but thank you for coming. I'm glad to be here, man. I'm here to work. I ain't say no shit to make them feel sorry for me. I ain't say nothing. Just had my hands together. Humble, still a humble servant. I'm here to serve. Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Martin Lawrence is my boss for the night. I got a job to do. And that goes to my point. What sacrifices do you make for the opportunity that you have? What have you given? What have you added? Steve Harvey, I think this would be fun to do this. Nah, Rick, Steve Harvey, I think that would be fun to do that. Tom, this would be real funny. I got an idea. Doug Banks, this is funny right here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Boom, 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 boom. I'm here to add. If I'm not adding, then what's my purpose? So ask yourself, everybody that want to go to the next level, what sacrifices are you making in order for you to get to where you're going and to get what you're trying to get? That's the question. I'm not on here to be messy, but I show appreciation to all my employees. When they're in the studio, we have a hot breakfast. You've seen the videos, hot breakfast for everyone that I pay for. Not the company, I pay for that. I don't charge anybody for nothing. I've always made sure my staff is straight and have everything they needed. So I don't. But it's not about us. It's about service. Somebody driving to work every morning, mama died. Somebody dad died. Somebody going through something. Somebody need to laugh. So you have to ask yourself, what can I add? What can I add to make the situation that I'm in better? What can I add? Can't tell you how many times I got on the phone with Steve. I ain't never been on Steve Harvey's sitcom. But goddamn it, if I had an idea, he's part of my success. Hey, here's one idea you can use for your show. Boom, he don't owe me shit. Tom don't owe me nothing. They gave me the opportunities I needed and I took advantage of it. That's why I'm here. Stand-up comedy this November, 33 years. Radio, 15 years. 15 years on the radio. And longer than that, 25 years of radio, because I was on somebody else's show, but 15 years on my show. Driving out of town. Doing all the live broadcasts. I'm broke. Because I went in my pocket to pay for a lot of shit. I got people on my payroll that the company don't even pay, but I pay them to be a part of the situation so my situation can be better and providing an opportunity for them. What are you adding? What have you added? What have you sacrificed? Because in order to be appreciated, ask yourself, well, what have I given? Where's the extra? I pay you. You do your job. Man, we are here to serve. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for listening. And that's something I want everybody to think about, because sometimes I can take something negative and something that feels negative. And if I inspired anybody in this message or whatever, but in order to get an understanding of what I'm saying, you got to have a certain level of humility. And you got to operate humbly and meek. I still get cursed out by mentors. I still get corrected. There ain't nothing wrong with correcting, because all I want to do is be better. All I want to do. But I want to be the one that they pick, because he has discipline, structure, respectful, and thoughtful. Disciplined, structured, respectful, and thoughtful. Every single promoter Rickey Smiley do a show for, they get an edible arrangement and a thank you card. Who does that? Who does that? My assistant, she know to send a thank you card and an edible arrangement for anybody give me any opportunity that'll put a dime in the bank that help me get my kids through college. How often do you give somebody a thank you card? Thank you for the opportunity. Steve Harvey's sick of me telling him thank you. I ain't seen Steve in 5 years because of COVID. But boy, every now and then I get in my feelings. My nigga, I really appreciate the opportunity. And I'm his competition and frat brother. Thank you for the opportunity. I know he like, Rick, okay, nigga. Cedric the Entertainer, thank you for the opportunity. White Gary, over at K104. Doug Banks, thank you for the opportunity. Frank Ski and Wonder, thank you for the opportunity. Buck Wild in Africa, thank you for the opportunity. Mike Robertson Carroll, thank you for the opportunity. Every general manager that put our morning show on, every program director that put our morning show on, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody that woke up and ever listened to the Rickey Smiley Morning Show, whether you like it or not, Thank you for the opportunity. Every promoter that has ever put me on a show and let me go on stage and rock, thank you for the opportunity. Every fan that bought a ticket to come see me perform, thank you for the opportunity. I'm humble and I'm grateful. Thank y'all for listening. God bless y'all. I hope y'all got something out of it. But there you go. Root to the bros.